The Dixon lumber crayon. This is a product that I was introduced to many years ago, and for a long time you could find it at Blick and other art supply stores. And even now, if you went into Blick, you would find a Dixon lumber crayon, but it would be a very different product than the one that I'm about to show you. So make sure you get the right thing and get it on Amazon. I'll include a link below. So if I'm getting my story right, lumber crayons were originally developed to make markings on wet trees, or possibly wet trees, that had been cut down in preparation for making them into lumber, cutting them into smaller pieces. So they needed to be able to make a dark visible mark on a potentially wet surface. So they're water soluble. And the thing that I love most about the Dixon lumber crayon is the really rich dark black that you can get from it. It's kind of hard to describe. It's chalky, it's greasy, it's thick and rich. It has a quality that I haven't been able to find in other products. So typically what I'll use this for is large line drawings on watercolor paper. I'll either start with the paper already wet, or I'll introduce water with the paintbrush as I draw. Then often as I'm drawing, I'll start to introduce matte medium, which gives it a thicker, kind of more painterly effect. And then at some point I usually bring in some titanium white acrylic paint to add highlights and some midtones. Because this is compatible with all aqueous media, you could use a full range of color with either acrylic, gouache, or watercolor. I just typically don't. I have never tried using this with watercolor or gouache, and I imagine you'd have to use quite a bit of paint to compete with the dark pigment of the lumber crayon, but it's compatible, so it's worth a try. I've shared the lumber crayon with several friends and some of my studio mates. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
I would highly recommend them. They're great.
The pencil is unbelievable. I can't live without it. It's my favorite pencil.
Got to try it out. The Dixon lumber crayon.